It's good to see you. I hope you've been better. I'm sorry you're having trouble sleeping. It's Halloween night right now. Maybe you're still awake because you saw something scary, like a clown, or a yeti, or a body. Those would probably keep me up as well. So, to hopefully help you fall asleep, I'll talk about various mildly interesting things. Things like the word salary. Did you know that the word salary originated from the Latin word salarium, which means a ration of salt? During the Middle Ages, salt was highly valued as something to trade. That kind of makes it edible money. Neat. Tonight, I might talk about other things, like how some pine cones are about the size of a whole baby. Look how big it is. Or maybe I'll talk about Gargura, who hasn't streamed in a long while. I miss Gargura. Stuff like that and more. Me? How am I doing? I'm doing alright. I was just resting here, drinking something to warm myself up. I actually brought some hot chocolate so I could feel more immersed. Let me go in for a sip. That's good. It's got the little marshmallows in it too. You know, I used to say drinks were better than food. I really thought boba tea and canned soy milk outclassed all consumables. That was a silly thing to say. I still really like drinks though. Have you ever had boba tea with cheese on it? It sounds strange, but you should try it. When I first heard about it, I thought it would be a sweet drink with a slice of American cheese inside, but it's not that, unfortunately. Here's a picture of what it looks like. Not too bad, huh? Overall, food is probably better. It's hard to beat something like a fresh bagel, you know? One with cinnamon and brown sugar in it. It's also hard to beat a bowl of cereal at 1 a.m. Those usually hit the spot. Have you eaten cereal at 1 a.m.? It's probably unhealthy to do, but at least you're not eating cereal at 2 a.m. And if you are eating cereal at 2 a.m., at least you aren't eating cereal at 3 a.m. And if you are eating cereal at 3 a.m., at least you don't judge other people for their nightly feasts. Getting judged can be upsetting, but sometimes it makes for great stories. I once told my friends about this restaurant I went to. When I entered, there was this energetic buzz of people. Waiters and waitresses walking through aisles carrying drinks, kids laughing and running through people's legs, the wafting smell of meats permeating in the air. It was typical of any busy restaurant, but what impressed me was the environment. The lights were dimmed and the walls were lined with baseball memorabilia and other Americana decorations. When I got to my seat, the waiter left a basket of golden buttered bread on the table with a little cup of cinnamon butter. When I opened the bread roll, a soft mist of heat exhaled from its opening. I scooped some of the butter and added it to the roll and tasted it. Phenomenal. Then I told my friends the name of this place. It was called Texas Roadhouse. They, of course, laughed at me. Oh well. We'll be going there every year for my birthday from now on, so they'll learn to like it. Okay, enough about food and drinks. Something else that's helped me sleep is practicing video game movements or combos in my head. You can do this with any game you want, but the game I'll focus on is Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. It's my favorite, and it feels good to move around. I'm going to imagine I'm moving in the game for a bit. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe I'll throw in a few attacks as well. Playing in your head is a good way to practice melee, but it's also good for other hobbies. Pianists can practice in their head by imagining the touch of the white and black keys, the distance between each note, the shape of certain chords, transitioning from one position to the next, imagining both hands doing different things. It actually works in reinforcing the skill. I'm pretty sure there's studies behind it too. The term for this I saw is mental rehearsal, and athletes do this all the time. It's not too hard to imagine what they'd practice. The motion for the swing of a bat, the feel of a toss-up before a serve. It makes me wonder if people like surgeons practice using the scalpel on a brain, or if artists imagine the line work in their heads before drawing massive boobs. You could probably rehearse mundane, unnecessary things too if you felt like it. Maybe you can imagine yourself sweeping some leaves. Or doing your hair. Or touching a hot stove. Ouch. The possibilities are endless. You know, the thought of endless possibilities can be overwhelming. A blank canvas, an empty script, an unchiseled rock. It's hard to know where to begin when you don't have anything. When Michelangelo was commissioned to make the statue of David, I wonder if he felt overwhelmed by the pressure to do well. Agostino, a sculptor, was first commissioned to begin work on the statue of David, but had stopped for unknown reasons. Antonio Rossellino, another sculptor, was resuming work on the marble, but had also quit for unknown reasons, leaving the expensive marble rock untouched in a workshop for 25 years. Then, a young Michelangelo was commissioned to continue and finish the work at the age of 26. That is a lot of pressure. I wonder if he stressed about the small things in the sculpting process. Things like, how trimmed would David's nails be? Or, will the belly button be an innie or an outie? Or whether or not the statue would be circumcised. Strangely enough, I am not the first to ask that question. If you Google, "is the statue of David?" the first thing you get is that result. And to answer the question, David is partially circumcised. Now you know, you weirdo. Either way, Michelangelo successfully completed the project with great praise, and he would move on to his next painting or statue. While we're on the subject of statues, anime figures aren't too different from statues, are they? While they aren't made of the same material, they serve a similar purpose as ancient statuettes, which were commonly used for idols of honoring and worshipping. Some people do that with specific characters, like Musashi from Fate Grand Order, which is also my favorite gambling addiction simulator. Let me know in the comments below what figures you have, unless you're asleep, in which case, never mind. I personally own a few figures myself, like this Rin and Nadeshiko from Eurocamp. I also have an Aki and Denji from Chainsaw Man. You can move the little dog with this one. And here's one of my favorites, Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen. This one is huge. It's a gift from one of my best friends. To me, these statuettes represent both the character I really like and the ideals that they stand for. For example, this Astolfo I got symbolizes unrelenting positivity, being oneself, and freedom. The Eurocamp girls represent finding happiness and peace in simplicity and nature. The Nanami here symbolizes the will to take a chance, leadership, and fighting for your boys. Always fight for your boys. Speaking of boys, do you cherish all the interactions you have with your friends? I personally try to. I find myself getting excited when I see that I got a message from one of them on Discord. Let's read what I missed today. Recipe for a perfect night. A handful of Lay's wavy potato chips. A sprinkle of rich chocolate chips. 20 seconds in the microwave. Instant, sweet, and savory gratification. The next one says, it's never too late to start believing in yourself. Vlad the Impaler didn't even start impaling people until his mid-30s. The next one says, why is the internet like this? This one says, deboned chicken with breadcrumb crust and tomato reduction. The last one here says, huge fan of whatever the hell this thing is. It's a bird. St. Louis Zoo welcomes its newest addition. I like that one. It always feels good to know that my friends are thinking of me, even when I'm not there. I'll be sure to send them some memes too, if I see any good ones. Anyways, I think I can wrap up around here. I hope you feel a little bit more at ease. It's been a long evening, hasn't it? Me? I'll be there soon. I'm going back inside to wash this cup and make sure all the lights are off. There'll be more we can do tomorrow. Sleep well, and good night.